Hello my friends and fishes, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about what happened between Mertailor and Mermaid Syphira back at the end of February / beginning of March. I want to break it down for you based on the information that has been publicly shared via Instagram and Facebook by both parties. So what actually happened here? To sum it up, there has been a dispute between Mertailor and Mermaid Syphira over who actually owns the rights to the templates used to create Mertailor's fabric mermaid tails, both the regularly available in his store as well as the custom designs. On February 28th, Mermaid Syphira made a post to her Instagram stating that she was no longer a Mertailor affiliate and that she was no longer a custom whimsy designer and that she wanted no affiliation with the company whatsoever. Nothing else was said in the description for this post. That was it, just the one image. Hey friends, editing Courtney coming in super fast. I realized I neglected to mention the follow-up post that Mertailor made on February 28th after Mermaid Syphira made her initial post. I'm gonna read it to you really quick. Good evening, morning, and afternoon, friends, family, and friends of Mertailor. Sometimes in life, new chapters are written and a new book is published. Doors close and new doors open. People move on and new opportunities arise. Tides come and go. This is one of the many ways that life works to ensure it can create the perfect path for each and every one of us. As some of you have already heard, Mermaid Syphira is no longer affiliated with Mertailor nor its custom whimsy mermaid tail program. Due to a difference of opinion, we find it best to part ways and start new adventures. We hope that mutual fans, customers, and friends of Mertailor and Mermaid Syphira will continue to support both entities with respect and positivity while moving forward without negativity, bickering, or non-fictionalized, dramatized stories that they're not party to. The Mertailor family wishes Mermaid Syphira nothing but the best of luck with her current and future creative endeavors, with a little heart face. We'd also like to take this time to address our thanks and appreciation to all of our customers and fans who've continuously supported our entire Mertailor family for the last 20+ years, and we cannot wait to see what the future holds. Love, like little love heart, Eric and the Mertailor crew. So now that you have that information, we can continue on with the video. So March 3rd, when I still had access to Mertailor's account, because yes, he's blocked me since all of this happened, I saw that he'd shared a clip of himself in a recognizable tail, but with an unrecognizable scale pattern. And immediately I thought, oh my goodness, what happened? So a few days later, the plot thickens. Now I've taken the time to convert this text to speech so that you can just listen to it, because if you're like me and reading through walls of text, it's just not the jam. So let's listen to that now.
I have spent some time contemplating how to state this. I can't say much, so please accept that I must be vague. As some of you know, I have been working as a custom tail designer for Mertailor since November 2019. I have also created their aquarium logo in 2020. This is all public knowledge and can be seen throughout Mertailor's social media posts. Recently, after many uncomfortable and difficult conversations with Mertailor, I have decided to step away from doing any work related to their company. Because of their inability to work things out with me, they, instead, felt the need to send an attorney after me despite admittance of their flaw. All things being equal, I needed to recruit a legal counselor to respond, which was pricey and tedious. This came to me as a surprise, as I had just visited their aquarium and had dinner with them about 2 weeks beforehand. I genuinely thought I had become friends with these people. There have been times where Candy has made me feel like her own daughter, and there were times where Eric made me feel like an equal. We did not part ways due to a difference in opinion. I left them because of a matter of right and wrong. At this point in my career and the length of time I've been in the mermaid community, I am not afraid to stand up to this company. In my experience with Mertailor, I have felt exploited, been manipulated, and been left betrayed. Had I known it was going to end this way, I would have never taken this opportunity in my artistic career, especially with Mertailor. This is an unethical company, and they will step on the little guys in order to get their success. They do not care about anyone unless it benefits them financially, and they will quickly dispose of you when they deem you worthless. At the end of it all, Mertailor requested me to sign a non-disparagement agreement stating that I would not say anything derogatory about them, which I quickly declined. They are free to say what they need to say, but they will twist the facts to take control of the narrative. I refuse to let them take away my ability to talk about this matter. This whole thing has really gotten me down. It's taken up so much of my time, energy, and sanity. All of these feelings had me consider leaving the community altogether, but doing so would put the power into Mertailor's hands and give them the hold over my life. I will not allow this. I have gotten so much support from a lot of you, old friends and new, and I cannot tell you how much I appreciate and needed it. This is not my goodbye. In fact, I have already been working on my own stuff on the side for many months, and I cannot wait to show you all what I have come up with. Asterisk, this post serves as a warning to artists of all types. Firstly, do not take a job just because it seems like a good opportunity. Opportunity does not pay the bills. Second, know your rights. Stand up for yourself when you are being used or challenged. And, lastly, you are not charging enough for your work. Doing so sets a low-cost standard for all artists, which will result in people/companies demanding or trying to get you to settle for selling your work for less than it's worth. Asterisk. With love and appreciation, Syphira.
Okay, so now I'm sitting over here thinking, I'm personally starting to put some pieces of the puzzle together when a follower of mine and Mertailor's reaches out to me and lets me know that Mertailor has made a Facebook post and a post on his Instagram. I don't know which one came first. So I'm still not blocked at this point, so I zip on over to take a look.
We are saddened by all the disparaging and untruthful comments being made about Mertailor on social media regarding the recent dispute with Mermaid Syphira. Mertailor will not engage in this type of unkind behavior even in defense of its position. However, we now feel it necessary to make a statement that explains Mertailor's side of the story. This said, we are limited in what we can say due to confidentiality agreements, and further, we will not defend our position by publishing personal information shared with us in confidence by Ms. The facts. Mertailor has been creating scaled fabric tails since 2014. There have been a few different scale variations since 2014. Mertailor tail body patterns and sizing have remained the same since 2014. 2017, Mertailor created and released a new scale mold to create spellbound tails. The original Fantasia fin and full Fantasia skins were introduced. 2018, Whimsy skins were introduced along with the new FF2 and FF3. 2019, Ms. was hired as an independent contractor to provide graphic design services. She quoted a price for each special job and offered a standardized price list for typical services. She was free to adjust her prices for our consideration at any time. Accepting or declining work was her choice. As a consumer, Mertailor had the right to accept or reject her prices and seek services elsewhere. This is typical business practice. Ms. was not bound by a long-term contract that disallowed her freedom of choice. Mertailor uses the services of multiple graphic designers. This helps us to be aware of the current market pricing for graphic design services. This plays an important part in this situation but is not something we will discuss further here. Mid-2019, Mertailor contracted Ms. to create a graphic rendering using Mertailor's existing silicone scales and apply them to the existing Mertailor tail templates. During the process, she made slight modifications to the templates themselves to better accommodate the manufacturing process. Ms. made some changes to the shaded texturing of the flukes, but remained largely consistent with the existing tail templates. The replicated scales were applied to the guppy tails a little later. Prices for all work was quoted by Ms. The work was completed in payment in full made for all services rendered. It was then decided to use the new templates for the newly created Whimsy Tail program. To participate in the program, artists are required to sign a licensing agreement which authorizes them to use Mertailor's tail templates. Ms. signed this agreement agreeing to its terms and conditions and became an authorized artist for the program. Those familiar with the program know that artists contract directly with the customer, establish their own pricing structure and get paid directly by the customer. In January of 2023, Ms. advised that she would no longer be accepting work for hire from Mertailor as it was financially necessary for her to seek employment elsewhere. She indicated that she wanted to continue working as an artist for the custom Whimsy program. This had been a matter of discussion for the past many months. We gave her our full support and understanding and told her we hoped she would be able to find time to continue working with us even if she was otherwise employed. Following this notice, Ms. advised us that it was her position that the templates she created in 2019, which were based on Mertailor's pre-existing designs, were her property and not the property of Mertailor. She then demanded a substantial amount of money, which was contrary to our original agreement with her. When we refused to make payment, she demanded that our artists stop using her templates. These are the actions that required Mertailor to seek the counsel of an attorney. Unfortunately, the situation escalated even further. We did not go after Ms. with an attorney. After her notification and demand, we found it necessary to consult an attorney to protect the interests of the company and the interest of Mertailor's customers. We did attempt to resolve this matter with Ms. Our offer was presented to her by our attorney, which she rejected. Instead, unwilling to accept our counteroffer, Ms. chose to obtain counsel and further increase her demand. These are the basic facts. While there are a lot more details involved to fully defend this matter, they are private and will not be discussed here. After consulting our intellectual property attorney, We are confident in our position that Mertailor is the rightful owner of the scale templates. Though we are confident in our ownership position of our tail templates, because of the negative energy surrounding this situation, Mertailor has decided to design new scale patterns and tail templates which will be implemented into our new tail designs and the custom whimsy program moving forward. We appreciate your support as we work through these difficulties. We wish Ms. no ill will and nothing but the best in her future endeavors. I would say additionally that this has taken quite a toll on the entire Mertailor team, physically and emotionally. It is our hope these unpleasantries will come to an end soon. Our hearts ache over this entire situation.
And then I get an Instagram notification that Mermaid Syphira is going live on her page. So of course, immediately drop everything and get set up to listen.
I was still gonna be an affiliate. I was still gonna do custom tails with him.
There are no contracts for copyrights. That is where everything was a pickle. I discovered this, recently, that there were no copyrights. And I just wanted to make sure that he owned, there was nothing in writing. There was nothing in writing. There was no work for hire. If you guys don't know what that is, you can Google it. I was never an employee. I was never a Mertailor employee. There were reasons for that. But I was always an independent contractor. But no contracts were signed. And if you create something for a company and you don't sell the copyrights to them, the ownership, you retain the ownership because you are the creator of it. So, yeah, I was never allowed to disclose that I created tail stuff from. I was never able to disclose that I created these templates. But right now he's saying that that he contracted me to do so and that he owns the rights to them, and that is not the case. I have screenshots of him admitting that he does not have the paperwork for it, and he asked me, how much do you want for these copyrights? In his thing, he said that I asked for a substantial amount of money. I will tell you that I asked him for about $3,500. That was for over 90 files that he would then take from me, retain all the rights to, and then, continue using them for his future designers, for his future workers and stuff.
The whole point of this video is to get the message out there to my fellow artists and creatives that what has happened between Mertailor and Mermaid Syphira is the direct result of a lack of mutual understanding by way of a contract. Contracts exist to provide clarity and protection. When no contract allegedly exists and a dispute arises, both parties are inevitably left feeling taken advantage of. As an artist, the work you create is automatically yours in terms of copyright. There are, of course, exceptions to this in terms of things like fan art and artwork based off of photography, when you don't have the photographer's permission to use their work, or when you are under a specific contract with a client and/or company. Now, obviously, I'm not a lawyer, okay? None of this is to be taken as legal advice. This is all from my own personal experience and information that I have looked up myself. This is all out there for you to go find. Go do your own research. Again, come to your own conclusions. But none of this is to be taken as legal advice, okay? But for example, it's not uncommon for a studio, say like an animation studio, to put in their employment agreements/contracts that anything created while on their time is their intellectual property. And they do this for a number of reasons. One of which being that you cannot then take work you created there from their inspiration or from your own inspiration or what have you, and then share it with a competitor like another studio, right? And then a lot of you pointed out that since Mermaid Syphira was employed by Mertailor, that these templates were in fact his. The problem with this as a statement is that according to Mermaid Syphira, she was not an employee of Mertailor, and no contract was actually in place to dictate the terms of the template agreement. And this is based off of what we heard in that Instagram live stream. So this all comes down to a very he said, she said situation. For me personally, I know, having been part of the mermaid community since 2011, I have witnessed enough drama surrounding Mertailor to make me extremely leery of both Eric and his company. But that is just my personal opinion. Because from my perspective, I believe there is space for all tail makers to exist together. But Eric, in my opinion, doesn't share this belief. And I've seen this in his response to things like the fish fin debacle, which I also made a video of I will be sure to link that for you guys if you want to check that out. So many of you refer to the designs on Mertailor's website as his designs. I see this a lot, but I really don't believe he's the one making them. I believe this from my own personal experience as an artist, and when I compare his skill and style as a sculptor to what you see in those digital designs. Like, you can see when compared that his personal style is not entirely reflected in the digital designs. Again, this is just my opinion. And also, in my opinion, Mertailor is not a fabric mermaid tail maker in the way that I and many other independent makers are. I don't believe he is the one designing, producing, and sewing his fabric mermaid tails. I believe he has a team. And there's nothing wrong with this as a business strategy. A lot of other mermaid tail making companies do this, but it is something we should be aware of when we are comparing him personally to other makers within our community. And like, all of this really makes me wonder what the rest of his team is paid, like including his ambassadors. Like, I know what it costs me to produce a mermaid tail from start to finish, and it really makes me wonder what his profit margins are based off of what he actually sells his tails for. Because I don't know if all of you know this, but like, making mermaid tails is not cheap. It's actually quite an expensive endeavor. And I've always thought that he has been undercharging for his product, and it just kind of makes me wonder if he is or isn't paying his employees and contract workers a fair wage. Because at some point, it just becomes too expensive to make them. If you're not charging enough, it doesn't line up. Do you know what I'm saying? The numbers don't work. There's some discrepancy there. Again, this is like, I'm getting a bit off topic here, but this is just something I've been thinking about now. So regardless of everything that has or hasn't been said, it is clear to me that both sides have been hurt for different reasons, and that this could have been resolved quietly behind the scenes. You know, a lesson could have been learned and everybody could just go their separate ways. You know, instead Mertailor chose to make a public statement saying that Mertailor will not engage in this type of unkind behavior even in defense of its position, and we will not defend our position by publishing personal information shared with us in confidence by... and chose to include Mermaid Syphira's full name, which she has not, at this point, made publicly available, to my knowledge. Like, what the heck? He stated things as the facts, but we all know there's more than one side to a story, as so many of you felt the need to point out in his comment section, siding with him immediately. Boy, it was brutal. You know, stating something is a fact when it's really, like, actually more of an opinion based on a personal experience, it doesn't really equal transparency. And siding with someone based on that person's opinion alone, and not by reviewing all of the information publicly available, is really telling of the times we live in. Finding the story that fits your narrative so that you don't have to make any uncomfortable decisions or change your ways seems like the easier way to go, right? And I'm sure if we were discussing any other industry outside of digital/graphic design, we would be much more open to understanding Mermaid Syphira as someone who also has rights to protect. So in my personal opinion, this whole thing was just one big learning experience for all parties involved, and I sincerely hope that no one has to go through this again. And I also hope that those of you who are artists hoping to get into the design field, maybe even as tail makers or merfolk artists, will make a note of this and remember, when it comes to working with others, that you make 100% sure that you are covered by a contract or terms of some kind. Know that this has been extremely difficult for me as a professional artist to watch this whole thing unfold, and know that with Mertailor's substantial following, how few people are actually going to agree with me on my negative feelings towards all of this. In my opinion, Mertailor's fabric mermaid tails would not have gained the popularity they have were it not for the artwork created by Mermaid Syphira. The tails you all love so much have her written all over them, and it breaks my heart to see how few people recognize that. Like, now that we've been made aware of it by Mertailor himself. I personally have always been credited for my work as an artist. No studio I've ever worked for has ever claimed that they just pulled my designs out of thin air, and he said in his statement that Mertailor uses the services of multiple graphic designers, and this tells me that there is so much more to the story than we are even aware of. Again, it's fine to employ artists to do work for you. That's what we do. You know what? Like, you pay us and we do the work and we do the thing. But you make sure that we're either an employee and there's a contract, or there's a separate set of terms, or another contract in place. There are kind of steps here, right? There were steps that were missed for all of this. Like, that's the problem. That's the real issue at the heart of all of this. And lastly, I want to go back to just one small other thing that has just been like on the back of my mind. The new scale pattern. If Mertailor is really actually confident in their ownership position over their templates, then why go to the trouble of changing them so quickly? Like, the turnaround time on that was crazy. Like, you're potentially watering down your brand, especially because the new scale shape is so generic. Like, even I've made scales in a shape like that before. You know, they look like so many other tails out there. It just leaves me feeling icky. I can't really explain it. It doesn't leave me feeling good. I completely understand where people are coming from with maybe the anxiety or concern or frustration because Mertailor's products are so accessible and beautiful, and I get that people are going to want to continue to use his products, and I have no judgment. I purely wanted to present the information all in one place so we can take from that information, draw our own conclusions, and hopefully just encourage the makers in our community to do the best that they can to be fair and transparent and make sure they've got contracts in place. And I still feel the same way as I ever have. I believe that there is room in this community for all tail makers. It's why I sell everything I do. You want to learn how to do what I do? I've got ebooks available, right? This is not about a shameless self-promotion. This is just about the fact that I want to see everybody out creating. I want to see what you're making. I want to see the next big thing that's going to come from Mertailor. I want to see what Mermaid Syphira is going to create next. Like, this should never have been an issue, in my personal opinion. If he wanted to do things a certain way, maybe his artists deserved to have an acknowledgement of what they bring to Mertailor's family. Maybe that should have been a thing, you know? This whole thing I just feel like is such a mess, and it makes me so sad, and just watching people and how just blindly will follow whoever screams and stomps the loudest. And when you have such a massive following to really, oh my god, I'm so sad and so disappointed. I have always done my utmost not to ever get on like the bad side of Mertailor. I'm sure I did that time that I made the fish fin video, but I had to, because he wasn't correct in what he was saying. And it's fine to have an opinion, but if there are facts to back it up, or if there is evidence to back it up, this space isn't just for one person. The space is for everyone. Everyone should get to have their chance to create and their chance to do and their chance to be fairly compensated for the work that they do. And I'm just really sad about the whole thing. Please make sure that you have read and listened to / watched all of the information that is currently available on this issue. I have left as many links to everything as possible in the description box down below. Before you leave a comment, please do so respectfully, of course, as always. If you found today's video helpful or interesting, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to join the pod, hit the bell so you never miss a notification. And otherwise, thank you for watching. I am so sad that this all happened. I did not expect to make 2 drama-based videos 2 weeks in a row, but hey, what are you gonna do? With all that, I want to thank you again for watching, and I look forward to catching you all in my next video. Happy simming. Bye. If Mertailor is really confident in their ownership of their templates? You sell templates? How the do you say it? Oh my god. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I've said template so many times, I'm not sure if I'm saying it right anymore. Oh my god.